already started targeted drug delivery, all those things, chemistry, physics, always. Thank you. This is our center, and we call it accelerator for knowledge. It's a knowledge-driven center.
Thank you, sir, for your motivating words and throwing a light on the benefits of innovation in the scientific world in 21st century, particularly for the Indians, and how the quantum mechanics is going to play a crucial role in the functioning of future devices to be built on the concept of nanotechnology. Thank you, sir, for your address. And now I invite all the guests. Now I invite for the chief guest of today's inaugural session, Dr. S.S.V. Ramakumar, to give his address.
Dr. Krishnakant, Principal of Aggarwal College, Ballabgarh, Dr. A.S. Yadav, Coordinator and Head of the Physics Department, Dr. Kanjilal, who has given such an absorbing presentation, taking us to the fundamentals of nanotechnology and the characterization techniques. Distinguished invitees, my colleagues from Indian R&D, Dr. Kapoor, Dr. Christopher, my senior colleague, Dr. Mr. B.R. Tyagi, who is sitting in the audience, distinguished delegates, participants, dear students. It gives me great pleasure to be with you in the inaugural session of this ISA Symposium, National Symposium being organized at your organization on a very, very contemporary and topical subject, nanostructures and device technologies. Especially after hearing Dr. Kanjilal, I was just sharing with my colleague Dr. Kapoor that there is a stark difference that a commercial R&D does and a pure academician looks at it. But nevertheless, without that base, without that fundamental knowledge, what academics and the labs pursue in any given domain, industry cannot just build on that. We need that fundamental base, what was provided by Dr. Kanjilal in the subject of nanotechnology. Since morning you have been hearing the importance of nanotechnology. So energy sector and petroleum sector, to which I belong to, is also not very far from adopting and reaping the benefits of nanotechnology. In fact, as outsider who are observing the development of various branches of science, we at energy sector, we always believed that nanotechnology exploitation was already done to the scale and to the intensity in sectors like pharmaceutical industry, paint industry and coating industry. Energy sector was a little bit slow starter, as I observed, to adopt this nanotechnology interventions. But nevertheless, we are catching up in understanding this new domain, the potential of this new domain, and how to adopt the nanotechnology interventions into the new energy domain. Before I actually dwell a little on what we are doing in nanotechnology in the petroleum sector, I would like to just say that we belong to a corporate R&D setup which is next door to you in Sector 13 in Faridabad. This is Asia Pacific's largest petroleum R&D center, not only in this country but in the Asia Pacific region we are the best. Much the same way that not many people don't know that Faridabad houses such a world-class institution. Till I came here, I was also not knowing that Aggarwal College is so big and pursuing so many disciplines and doing research in so many disciplines with so much of women empowerment, as Dr. Krishnakant was mentioning. I'm thoroughly impressed by my first visit and whatever I heard since morning about our Aggarwal College. And there is a need for upcoming and vibrant academic institutions like Aggarwal College to engage more and more with industry on scientific platform. And from this platform, I would like to assure Dr. Krishnakant and the management of Aggarwal College that we will lend all the assistance for you students and your faculty should you desire any kind of engagement with us, because it is also a corporate social responsibility for us to promote science, to promote fundamental science in the vicinity where we are operating. So with that opening remark, coming to the theme of this conference, energy sector is undergoing a very exciting transition, if you see, because the primary energy, if you see the primary energy pie of this country, still it is heavily reliant on fossil fuels. Coal is the major primary energy source even today, followed by the oil, and there are so many prophecies, there are so many prognostications that the days of oil, the days of fossil fuels are just numbered. That is what people think. But from the energy sector, we think a little bit differently, because we are seeing from an apex level the energy needs of the country, and we are going to be the major energy consumer. India is going to surpass China in its energy consumption in the next 5 to 10 years. So we are going to require a lot of energy. And as a fledgling economy, as a vibrant and fastest growing economy, it is extremely difficult for a country like India to shun fossil fuel energy sources as yet. I am not saying that we won't be doing it, but definitely fossil fuel energy is the richest source of energy, and it is the cheapest energy as of now. So for a country like India, which is aspiring to grow double digit in the next 5 to 10 years, you just can't banish carbon. Fossil means carbon-based energy as yet. I have been, I'm a firm believer, having spent 30 years in energy domain and petroleum domain. I am a firm believer that carbon as a source is still not bad. Carbon as a source is extremely good and rich in calorific value. The so-called renewable energy sources that what we are talking, we are going from a high calorific value energy sources to a very low calorific value energy sources. They might be greener, but they are not going to satiate your energy appetite. So either these renewable energy sources need to be bucked up. Research need to actually push these renewable energy sources to give those kind of energy density as fossil fuels are operating today. So I firmly believe that the fossil fuel energy or the carbon source energy as an input is still not bad, but what is deleterious is the output of carbon energy. When you use carbon as a feedstock, any carbon source as a feedstock, it gives enormous amount of energy, but it is also laced with lot of emissions, and those emissions are deleterious. So the need of the hour for every one of us is to be carbon smart, not to banish carbon, but you need to be carbon smart, and you need to actually control the emissions so that you can have the twin benefit of having high energy density source as an energy source. At the same time, you are conserving and preserving your environment. So the need of the hour is carbon capture and carbon sequestration technologies. lot of work is going on that, and nanotechnology is going to play a very, very big role to extend and to give a fresh lease of life to the carbon-based technologies. This is what we believe. This is what we are pursuing in the petroleum industry. In my R&D center, we have a fledgling department of nanotechnology. It was started in 2010. We are now having a team of at least 15 very brilliant doctorates and postdoctorates, and we have, you name it, we have all those characterizations and techniques what Dr. Kanjilal is narrating in his talk. We are also having facilities to actually produce the nanomaterials. The production of nanomaterial from a mega material or a macro material is, we believe, into essentially two methods: the top-down approach and the bottoms-up approach. So we adopt both the approaches. The top-down approach, a bigger graphite molecule can be controlled in a controlled way, it can be shared, and you can produce a monolayer or a multi-layer thin sheet of carbon, which is nothing but graphene, for which Nobel Prize was awarded in 2011. And graphene unlocks tremendous potential of carbon in terms of its electric conductivity, in terms of its surface area being sp2 hybridization mode. So it gives a lot of potential. So we have all the industrial level production infrastructure for producing nanomaterials from a macro material, from a macromolecule to a nanomolecule. And we endorse the definition given by Dr. Kanjilal, what is a nanomaterial. Today we are capable of, next door to you, we are capable of producing a nanomaterial with 10 nanometer, mere 10 nanometer size. And we have all the characterization techniques, SEM, TEM, NMRs, we have field emission ionization, scanning electron microscopes, we have cryostats to even characterize the liquid materials. We have these things. I would only like to, it's better for the younger students, why it is important to understand the fundamentals of any domain. You will understand when I tell you how this can be exploited in an industrial domain. I'll give one example, especially to the students, and many of the faculty sitting here also, I don't know whether they are aware or not. We are the first one to adopt nanotechnology into the day-to-day life. And this was rated as one of the industrial most important industrial innovation that happened in the nanotechnology in this decade in this country. No less than Bharat Ratna C.N.R. Rao conferred his Nano Innovation Award on this particular innovation which I am going to talk to you, which I am going to present to you. You all are users of domestic LPG. There is not a single household which is not having LPG stove. We are the suppliers of LPG. Our brand is Indian. Indian is the brand, and we supply LPG gas. This LPG gas, since times immemorial, now I say, for the past 50-60 years, housewives are using it as a cooking fuel for the cooking. And nobody ever thought that this LPG will have an application beyond cooking. And there is another application. There also, from times immemorial, for cutting of metallic specimens, you use oxyacetylene film.